thanks for joining us again. We are the Unsettled. We discuss crimes, unsolved mysteries, murders, alike. Anything
The occult, macabre, and the murderous.
It's our new slogan.
Yeah.
Works. So yeah, we discuss unsolved
Mysteries.
I guess.
Mysteries, murders.
And we throw in our dark humour every now and then. Today, we're going to be discussing the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. It's one I'm looking forward to.
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Are you actually looking forward to it? Why?
Oh, it's gruesome and it's slightly funny in certain aspects, but, well, dark humour anyway.
You think murdering people is fun? Like, I'm not one to mock murder.
So yeah, leave a message down below if you agree with that.
So yeah, if you guys are new here, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. Like the video, if you want to share it, you can. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, we're just going to get straight into the case. Viewer discretion advised. This is a bit more of a
Yeah.
A bit more of a yeah.
A bit more of a definitely yeah.
That's why I like them. So, Texarkana is a sleepy town between Texas and Arkansas. Over the spring of 1946, a serial killer held residents of Texarkana with fear. It seems like we were born in the wrong generation. Like, I'd like to be born around now.
Well, yes and no. Like, I don't want to be one of the victim count, to be fair, but
No, but it seems like we've missed all the exciting stuff.
well, yeah.
We just get COVID.
Well,
So, the elusive phantom killer, dubbed by local newspapers, targeted couples down lovers' lanes. I'm starting to think this is another lovers' lane type of thing. That these lovers' lanes should have vending machines of condoms. They would have skyrocketed back then.
and
If
a
you
notice saying, please, if you're parking here, lock your damn doors.
I think they should do that. I think down country lanes there should be like a little lock thing.
A little
condoms.
vending machine.
The condom sales would go through the roof.
True.
But then you'd be arguing with your missus, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Like, I ain't getting out of the car, it's
it's
dark.
change.
And you'd be like, I ain't getting out of the car, there's ghosts out there.
So many things like you'd have to.
It'd ruin the mood.
You'd have to change. You know, like most of the machines would be vandalised.
Just do it bareback. Go back to this, it's fine. Right, so. I was about to say, you know, dropping a girl off a bit of slap and tickle before you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, imagine it.
I'd rather not.
What, slap and tickle with a woman? Or
No,
just,
the later bit.
oh, just the fact that a perverted voyeur appears.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I suppose. Happens a lot, this type of thing. Yeah, usually results in someone being shot. But anyway, right,
Yeah,
back to the case.
We digress.
We have. The Phantom Killer's apparent last attack was a middle-aged couple. Maybe the teens wasn't getting the job done at night time. I just want to clarify that. So allegedly his last attack was a middle-aged couple, and like I said, maybe the teens just didn't do it for him.
Maybe it was just a slow night.
Yeah, I suppose. But despite the shed of like loads of theories and suspects, we're going to take you back to the night it all began. He's got to dress up as a woman, I'm going to be a guy, we've got to be sat in a car.
Oh, I got a bit. Don't answer that.
You wanted to be the killer, didn't you? I wanted you to be the woman. Right, February 22nd, 1946. Oh, this is where it begins. Jimmy Hollis, 24, and his girlfriend, Mary
Larry.
Larry?
Mary Larry.
Dear me. Anyway.
Mary Larry, quite contrary.
She was 19.
Not apparently.
He was 24, she was 19. Right. We're parked in we're parked in a secluded corner on a lonely road just off Richmond Road in Texarkana. The couple had spent the evening in the cinema, you know. Yeah. And now was stopped down Lover's Lane for some alone time before Jimmy dropped her home. So you can't really do it in the cinema, I guess. So while some slap and tickle was going on, a man wearing a white cloth mask, presumably a pillowcase,
killer on a budget, and you love him,
with the eyes cut out. It looked like he was wandering through the darkness, like, where are they? He actually could see where. Can you imagine if it was like a flower pillowcase?
Yeah, you're like, oh, come on.
He's
got all floral.
So he appeared at the car window and shined a flashlight into their eyes. He shoved a gun at the terrified couple and ordered them out of the car, where he proceeded to pistol whip Jimmy to the ground. The hits were that hard, Mary thought Jimmy had been shot. That sounds quite vicious, doesn't it, really?
That does sound quite
right. The hits were so, like I said, the hits were so hard, Mary thought he'd been shot. In fact, it was just his skull being fractured. I did say this might get grim. I did say it. After keeping Jimmy down, the man turned his attention to Mary. This is where my voice goes deeper. Right. The man hit Mary in the head with the bottom of the gun. She fell to the ground. Yeah. The man shouted, "Run." She tried to run.
You get a head start.
Yeah, you get a head start, basically. She tried to run, but she didn't get far in heels. She was struck again from behind. The man held her on the ground, and Mary... we can make this unsettling. We can make this unsettling. We can. The man began to sexually assault her with the front of the gun being pushed inside her.
Oh, that's a whole new meaning to pistol whip.
I was going to leave it out, but we're the Unsettled.
True, but yeah.
May I add, this was actually left out of the first statement when it first happened, as police said it was too crude
to mention. Yeah.
Sounds like my kind of party.
What, the too crude bit?
No, just the
whole thing.
Yeah. I can't wait to wear a pillowcase and surprise her tonight. She's
going to smack her around the head with a baseball bat.
She's going to watch this undead, I'm sorry. Mary spat at the man, shouting, "Just fucking kill me if you're going to." It's getting kinky now. Moments later, headlights appeared from an oncoming car. The man quickly jumped up and vanished into the night. Both Jimmy and Mary was rushed into hospital and survived the ordeal, but not without psychological trauma.
Which you would expect.
From being fucked with a gun, yes.
Yes.
So, that's the introduction to this fucked up individual. How are we going to go with this? I did say we're the Unsettled. I was going to leave the whole fucking with the gun out, but I thought, you know what, fuck it, we're going to tell you. A month later, 24th of March, near my birthday. This is how I got born. Richard Griffin, 29, and his girlfriend, Polly Ann Moore. Are you with me on this?
Yep.
Oh, good. 17, cough, cough. He's 29, she's 17.
Oh.
Bit young.
It's getting older and younger.
It's common.
That ain't a point.
Young women like older men. It's a known fact.
Yeah, I know.
That's why they call them daddy.
It's the,
Daddy. Right. They were found shot dead in Griffin's car, which was parked yet again down an isolated road. Richard Griffin was a World War II vet, slumped over his front seat, dead, 2 bullet wounds. Polly was spread over the back seat of the car. Yeah, easy. She had been viciously raped to the point of blood had been stained throughout the seat. Then shot in the head. A piece of land nearby was also covered in blood. So both were shot outside the car.
And then placed back in.
Rain had washed away DNA and fingerprints and also footprints, but police found 32 slugs that belonged possibly to the Colt Eagle gun.
32?
Maybe he was shooting it from far away. Shit shot, mate. He's got a pillowcase over his head. That's gonna be
I'm gonna hit one of them. I'm gonna hit one of them, I swear.
You miss fucking everyone, you twat. After this attack, people soon realised that a sadistic killer was on the loose. As the town still felt the heavy blow of this murder, 3 weeks later, another happened. Betty Jo Booker, 15 years old, was an A student. You did say they're getting younger.
They are getting younger.
And a saxophone player, so she's good at blowing now. And played every Saturday.
There's always a musician, really.
And played every Saturday in a group called Rhythmaries, I guess. So Saturday came and Betty got picked up by a childhood friend, Paul Martin, 16 years old. Absolutely.
They're definitely getting younger.
They stopped at Spring Lake Park a few minutes from Betty's home. That following morning, Paul was found, his body containing 4 bullet holes. 1 bullet entered the back of his neck and came out the front of his skull. Not bad death. The second bullet in the left shoulder. The third went through his hand and the other directly in the face. So he'd obviously put his hand up. Yeah. A search party was now made to look for missing Betty. 6 hours later, she was found behind a tree. She had been shot once in the chest, the next in the face. It was theorised the scene had been staged. Her coat was buttoned to her chin and a hand in her pocket.
Okay. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
So it's staged like that anyway, like.
Yeah, it seemed like she was just rummaging around in her pocket before she gets shot. Oh, hang on, let me get my bulletproof vest out. Ready? Shot in the face.
Yeah, too late.
Reports stated Betty was raped in the same vicious manner as Miss Moore. They was killed with a .32 caliber weapon. Martin's car was found 3 miles from the bodies. Keys still in the ignition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like theft rage
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Days passed and the curfew was put into place. Nobody wanted to be out when sundown touched, hence the name, like whatever it was called before that, it was something sundown. The town raised thousands of dollars in a bid for someone to come forward with information. Gun sales went through the roof.
Yeah.
As they would. This town was now on edge.
And the locks and ammunition.
Well, obviously. But then if you're in a car with a young girl, you know you're getting fucked in a minute. Or she's going to get fucked in a minute. Either way, something's getting fucked.
Something's happened.
Yeah, something's about to happen. So, yeah, gun sales went up and obviously so did the locks and ammunition. This town was now on edge. The killer was now eyeing up his next victim. 3rd of May. Virgil Starks, 37, and his wife Katie was settling down to listen to his favourite radio show in their ranch-style home. Suddenly, 2 gunshots into the back of Virgil's head came through a closed window. He's now moved on from cars. He's now getting to
the house.
Yeah, he's now going for the houses. There's a squeak.
That was a squeak.
Yeah, nice. So this is where it kind of makes me think like it was obviously something else was going on here. Katie, who was upstairs, came rushing down. See, I think fuck that. If I had 2 gunshots, I wouldn't rush
I'll be
down.
straight out the window, mate.
Yeah, I'll jump out the window. Run. She witnessed her husband attempt to stand up with large amounts of blood rushing down his face. Seconds later, he fell back into the chair. Katie grabbed the phone, rang the police, but she was shot twice from the same window directly in the face. Despite her injuries, she managed to pull herself up, covered in blood, and grabbed the family's pistol. She heard the killer enter her home. Imagine that now.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, see, it gets worse. But if you just watched your husband get shot, you've just been shot, you've got the protection pistol, and you've just heard the front door open up, you're like, nah, I'm dead. You literally thinking, no, I'm dead. Oh, it's just, no. But it could be a lot worse, I guess. She was blinded by her own blood, she couldn't see much. She froze, then ran out the house to the neighbour's home. They called the police. Shockingly, Katie survived. Doesn't seem that much of a bad thing, but that killer's still in there. That's what I mean, he managed it. Investigation was now underway. A flashlight and bloody footprints, a different gun was used, a .22 caliber rifle. Police now definitely suspected the same man, the Phantom Killer. After the attack on the Starks, the Phantom Killer faded into the shadows, which I think is a bit. After he's had his, like, you know.
Merry little way, maybe he's got the heat too much.
I mean, allegedly the killer was around 6 foot tall. That woman you mentioned, what was her name? Larry? Yeah. She couldn't quite understand the skin colour. There was numerous false confessions, one being 18-year-old HB Doodle Tennyson. Where did they get these fucking names from?
That just sounds like he's like, yeah, I'm just going to put a fake name in this witness report.
It seems like all the families are on meth. They're getting high down these country lanes.
Seeing shit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And doing shit.
Yeah. HB Doodle Tennyson committed suicide and left a note saying it was him, basically. One main suspect was Yovel Swinney. I'm done with these names, dude. I'm done. He came to police's attention as every night a murder attack happened. A car had been stolen and dumped weeks after this revelation. A farmer complained that his tenant didn't pay rent. He gave the police the tenant's name. Yovel Swinney or Swenny. They checked his number plate and showed he'd been driving around in a stolen car when Griffin and Moore's murders happened. And the car was stolen that weekend.
Interesting.
Yeah. Swinney's own wife Peggy could subsequently implicate him as the Texarkana Moonlight Murder and described, should we say, the murderer of Betty Bowe, or she described what happened to Betty Bowe basically, and Paul Martin in definite detail, saying he only told me he would steal from them. So his own wife said, oh, he only told me he'd steal from him. Yeah, and then allegedly things got out of hand, but her statements and confession was conflicted with no physical evidence against him, and with Peggy using her right to not testify against her husband, because you don't testify against your...
No.
Yeah. Swinney was never prosecuted. Swinney was arrested for auto theft in 1947 for life, but let out in 1978. With thousands identified and questioned, still to this day no one knows who the Texarkana Moonlight Murderer was or is. So we'll never actually know. It just seems weird that
this has happened.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
Well,
I am dying to find out.
Well, I've got a bit of a profile on the Texas Ranger.
Okay.
So it's Captain Gonzalez.
What's with the names?
So it's Texas Ranger Captain
Yeah.
Lone Wolf Gonzalez.
Told you they were meth.
So he stated that he and his officers were dealing with a shrewd criminal who had left no stone unturned to conceal his identity and activities.
Right.
And that the murderer's efforts were both clever and baffling. He also stated that the man they were hunting was a cunning individual who would go to all lengths to avoid capture.
Okay.
So, after the murder of Virgil Starks, the majority of the 47 officers on the case unofficially believed the killer's motives were that of a sex mania. One of the officers stated, I believe that it is a sex pervert that is responsible.
No shit! He fucked him with a gun to start his crime. A sex pervert, and he suffered sex mania. Is that a thing? Look sex mania up.
Apparently so.
Looking up sex mania.
So, a psychologist at the Federal Correctional Institution in Texarkana believed that the killer was planning to continue to make unexpected attacks, such as that of Virgil Starks, on the outskirts of town. He also believed that the same person committed the murders of Virgil Starks and Betty Joe Booker, Paul Martin, Polly-Ann Moore and Richard Griffin. Further, he believed that the killer's age was somewhere between his mid-30s and 50s. He said that the killer was apparently motivated by a strong sex drive and that he was a sadist. He stated that a person who would commit such crimes is intelligent, clever, shrewd, and often not apprehended.
I would like to say it's just give me a playlist of all sex songs.
Fair enough.
Sex mania.
So there's a rundown. So in the Hollis and Larry case,
No suspects.
no suspects were apprehended. In the Griffin and Moore case, over 200 people were questioned about the same number of false tips, and officers received satisfying explanations. The remaining suspect was held in Vernon, Texas, for further investigation, but it was later cleared of all suspicion.
He didn't have sex mania.
No.
No.
He wasn't shaking at the sight.
No, he saw a bit of leg and ankle and
So
just
in
went
the
off.
Martin and Booker case,
Yeah.
a taxi driver quickly became a major suspect because his cab was seen in the vicinity of the crime scene that morning.
Of course it would be.
But
He dropped off the killer.
The driver was soon washed out as the investigations continued. Friends, acquaintances, and several suspects were questioned in the 3 rooms of Bowie County building by officers who worked 24-hour relays to get the case sorted.
Didn't know, did it?
Suspects were brought in from within a radius of 100 miles, both male and female. That's a wide range of suspects. Like,
You would think if a taxi was seen in that vicinity and a guy rang up and was like, hello, I'd like to book a cab please, and then the cab pulls up, he gets in with a pillowcase on his head, that taxi driver's going,
okay.
Halloween party? In the morning?
Of May.
Oh, fucking May. Bit early.
It's a precursor for the big event.
It's literally like he's just pulled up and been like, didn't get much sleep last night, no, I'm taking my bed with me, thanks, got my duvet wrapped around my legs.
So, Max Taggart, a 33-year-old Arkansas State Police officer, a rookie at the time, realised that a car had been stolen on the night of one of the murders.
This is what I read.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to do it in much better detail though. I could barely read my writing.
So, and that a previously stolen car had been found abandoned. Taggart found a car in a parking lot.
Wait, you said Taggart?
Taggart.
That used to be a show on Crime UK, check it out.
Well, that's Taggart.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but this is Taggart. T-A-C.
Ah, I thought you said Taggart.
No, I said Taggart.
Sounds the same.
It does sound the
No,
same. Yeah, so Taggart found a car in a parking lot and had been reported as stolen. He staked out the car until someone came back to it, then arrested a 21-year-old woman, Peggy Swiney.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I call it Swinny.
Yeah. She said that she had just gotten married in Shreveport and that her husband was currently in Atlanta trying to sell another stolen car. Why would you even admit that? Yeah, it's stolen, but my other half is in
my other half does it all the time.
County, in another fucking park, trying to sell another one.
He does it all the time. We'll give you some money. That's all. Fucking stupid.
So yeah, as obviously told Taggart that Amanda tried selling a stolen car to one of the citizens. Taggart asked the citizen if he would recognise the suspect, but the man said that he would not.
Can you recognise this suspect now with pillowcase over his head?
Just a bit of a pillowcase.
That's it, we solved the crime. It was the pillowcase. We win. Don't fall asleep with your eyes closed.
It was
I figure that one out.
It was that con.
Don't fall asleep with your eyes closed. Not when that pillowcase is lurking. Keep one eye open.
He said, so you wouldn't recognise him then?
It was a pillowcase.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, in my home, actually. You go home and you look at your pillowcase with a disgust look like you are disgusted.
So police were able to independently verify some details of Peggy's confession, such as locating a victim's possessions in a location she said Yogo had discarded it. A shirt with a laundry mark, perhaps perhaps linked to the Starks case was found in Swiney's possession, but the link was not certain. Peggy's confession was the most critical part of the case. By law, in Yole was not arrested for the murder. Instead, with only circumstantial evidence, Swiney was sent to prison as a habitual offender for car theft.
He doesn't sound like the man, to be honest.
No.
Sounds
like they made it into a book and films and God knows else what later on. But
I think it was just.
Do you think it was an individual or do you think it was a couple?
What, couples in male and female?
Yeah. One in a car, one doing the action.
Okay. My thought process is, you're sitting there with your wife at night time.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, look, love, we ain't got much money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go rob some kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wear a mask, pillowcase. You drive me there, I'll get the job done.
That she made him.
Yeah, pretty much. You're like, yeah.
It's all I've got.
Yeah, it's all I got. Sorry, can't afford a mask, we're poor. You're going to make one out of cardboard. And I've got to cut holes in you.
Why's it got flowers? I'll turn it inside out.
Right, so I reckon you sat there with your wife,
Mm-hmm.
mind your own business, you ain't got much money.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, look, we'll go down lovers' lanes, we'll rob some teenagers, that's all it is. You'll be my getaway driver. The wife's like, okay.
Fine.
He goes down there, watches a couple of lovers. Yeah, he's got a couple.
Gets
of
a bit
randy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Gets a bit. He's like, oh, like, if I sit here any longer, I'm either gonna wank or I'm gonna kill him. As he's a sex maniac. Yeah. His wife sat there like, what's she done?
Different words.
Word searches. Texarkana
Moonlight.
He'll be right for Halloween. I'm so proud of my husband. So I reckon it was I reckon the woman was probably the getaway driver. They used different cars, clearly.
Yeah, they probably stole the cars previously.
Yeah, and I reckon there was two people. Yeah, I reckon there was a two-person. But the last one,
seems like it.
the last one, being shot through the house and so on, I reckon that might not have been him because it didn't sound like he finished the job.
No.
I reckon the Lovers Lane thing.
And it's not really his MO, is it?
Yeah, exactly. I reckon the Lovers Lane part, targeting teenagers.
Targeting couples down a quiet, dark road.
And saying that, while his wife's in there, he could possibly... You don't know what else was said here. Yeah, you don't know what else was said here. He's probably thinking like, you know what, if I bump into a couple, they might let me join in. Then things get a bit heated. Like, as he signs that flashlight in, he's wearing a pillowcase.
Yeah, it's where it gets sadistic.
Yeah, he's like shining the light and going, can I join in? He's like, fuck off. And he's like, right, now. Now he looks at her and he's like, right, his penis has been inside you, but you ain't had nothing like a 42 Malibu. You see what I mean? Maybe that was it, and then gradually they just stopped. Maybe
it was getting too
popular.
Too close to home.
And the fear of getting killed, maybe. Because he was targeting couples who couldn't necessarily defend themselves. And now, obviously, you know, not being funny, if you were back then and you were a young boy and you were taking your girl out on a date, you'd be like, right, I'm taking a fucking gun.
You start carrying, you start.
If I'm going to get laid tonight, whether that pillowcase man turns up or not.
And if he does.
Exactly. So, yeah, maybe it was two people. Maybe. It just seems funny that the woman that we mentioned didn't know anything about the rape or the fucking of a gun, or she's like, oh, he just said he'd rob them. Yeah, he also did stuff.
He did a lot of other stuff.
And I love one of these pictures that you got in this. I think the picture is great. Like what we said earlier, you know what I'm going for, don't you?
Is it the flashlight? Have you seen this flashlight?
Have you seen this flashlight? Because this is the one they used.
Yeah.
No.
And it probably is. It's sold to about 1,000 people.
It's probably one of those
millions.
cheapest... I can't believe you ain't even got a picture of the pillowcase. That's the most incriminating part of it all.
Flowery pillowcase.
It's the pillowcase. We sold one. Yes! Yes!
It does seem like, as you said, it seems like there's a double, like whether it's just one as a getaway or...
I reckon one as a getaway. One as a getaway thinking, oh, she's just going to rob him. I mean, you can't really predict a woman to go out there and rob them.
No, and if you're, you wouldn't park right behind them.
Exactly.
So she's going to be a fair bit away.
So
maybe
you
a
can
prearranged
watch them
a
little bit and be like, right, when they... Maybe he watched them and thought, I'm going to rob them, but he slowly got aroused by it, so he continued, realising he's got...
Now he's got an addiction.
Yeah. But can you imagine walking up to look like...
Because that first one was brutal.
Yeah. And then
like, that was rage. That wasn't anything else, that was rage.
The fact he smacked her in the head, knocked
maybe
her to
he's
the ground.
having a bit of trouble getting her in time,
Maybe he's not getting hard enough. He
maybe
needs someone
not.
to run away.
Well, they said it's in between 30 and 50, so...
You saying they've got a problem?
Not yet.
She's getting a pillowcase tomorrow. I'm going to lay next to her in bed, put a pillowcase on and be like, woo!
And you're like,
I'll be the one
instant
shot.
regret.
I'll be the one shot. But can you imagine him just walking, like, say he's just a regular guy and she's, like his wife, as we're saying, going along with this theory. She's dropped him off, he's walking down the woods, he sees a car parked up, sees two lovers kissing, a bit of touching. Right, and his first instance is, where's that pillowcase? And he's like, right. He pulls out a gun and goes, don't forget the torch.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm ready.
Okay, I won't turn it on until I get to the car, so then I'm not really like...
Imagine if the pillowcase was too big and it just kept moving about his legs.
Get out of the car. Oh, bollocks.
Oh, fuck. Where are they? Stop! It does seem like he did target young people because they were easy targets. And then I reckon
they're easy targets. They'll have money. They would, because if they're on a date, they're going to bring money.
Put it this way, they'd have money, but if back then they invented my condom machine, they wouldn't have none.
Very true.
Because it just take
many people queuing up. You're going to be long. Movie starts in half an hour.
It's after the movie.
Oh, they're all out.
It's after the movie. Oh, there's only Blueberry there. Fuck's sake.
Blueberry.
Hope she does. Woo. Imagine doing that with your little condom machine. The pillowcase falls out. You're like, nah, nah.
What the fuck?
The BFG's dick.
So, what do you guys think? Is it a couple killing spree? Is it an individual, a very perverse individual? But
I don't know, I'm quite on board with it. I find the whole pillowcase kinky.
Well, on that note, have you got any last words? Before your pillowcase episode?
She's in for a treat. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, comment down below like what we all said. What are your guys' thoughts? Was it a group? Was it just one perverse man? And did that last killing really match up to the rest in terms of the same person? Because it really doesn't.
It doesn't. Like, it's the wrong MO. It's middle-aged. It's in a home. There's no...
If it was for robbery, are they getting that desperate? Or maybe all the couples got told, as it was a curfew, be home by this time, he's now getting desperate.
Maybe.
Well, it's not really unsettling, I mean, to be honest.
It's a little bit unsettling, to be fair. Like,
it's a kink.
What do you think of yourself? Like, you're with your girlfriend down a country lane, you think you're alone. And then some twat comes up with a pillowcase over his head and shines a light in your face and fucking taps on the window with a fucking pistol. You're like... My bladder's opening up, my bowels are opening up. Like...
Can you imagine if back then they heard about this pillowcase murder, like, and all the boys were like, I'm going to outsmart him. We'll take a gun. So they're about to get jiggy, they're getting all involved in it. There's a bang on the window, there's a flashlight. It's like, oh, he's here. I'll get one up on him. Pillowcase. He's like, ah! Reflection. Yeah, imagine, mirror it. Oh, you want me a bit? Ah, fuck! He'd be like that. He'd be like, I'm gonna slap your girlfriend. I'm gonna slap my girlfriend.
Yup, shit.
It's just like, fuck off. But yeah, I reckon a group, 2 people. Well, I say a group, 2 individuals.
I reckon, yeah. Male
But
and female.
The last one, no. The last one's a different crime altogether. But either way, that was.
Maybe it's someone like someone being opportunistic and piggybacking off of this whole lot.
Maybe, like you said, they made films about it afterwards, and it hit the news, and that's what happens when something hits the news, though.
Yeah, you get the copycat. You
will.
You
Can
get
you
people
imagine
trying to
Halloween
hack
here
house.
in Texarkana? Everyone's wearing pillowcases.
in the lockdown.
Everyone's wearing pillowcases, and there's this one kid
Halloween has failed.
he can't afford a pillowcase, so he puts a bag on his head. And who are you meant to be? I'm the Texarkana Moonlight Killer. Here's my gun. Every love couple down that aisle and down the lanes and everywhere else are like, I ain't going out on Halloween. Fuck that. We'll be interrupted endlessly.
Literally.
You're not getting nothing. I'm not getting nothing. So yeah, we're the Unsettled.
Until next time.
That was a kink.